This presentation covers everything you need to know about building a B2B website. I'm Derek Gilmore. I'm the founder and CEO of DMZ Interactive in Boston. First of all, let's start out with B2B sites and how they're different than a B2C site. A B2B site is a business-to-business website that is used primarily for lead generation and for selling products that sell to business users. A B2C site is a consumer website that sells products that sell to the consumer marketplace. Pretty obvious, but it's important that everyone understands the distinction between a B2B and a B2B website. B2B websites are integrated systems. They integrate with back-end systems such as ERP, CRM. There's a lot of different systems that are integration points for a B2B website. B2B websites today are integrated with Google Analytics, which is search. They're integrated with social media, LinkedIn, Twitter. They also have email components such as marketing automation tools, which send out emails to people who fill out lead forms on the website. B2B websites have mobile components, which are an important element. Your website should be viewable on a mobile device such as an iPhone or an Android device. And also, you should be leveraging video components. People watch video online, and it's an extremely powerful selling tool. All of this is possible today because a lot of these integration points are hosted on cloud-based technology platforms such as Salesforce.com. Amazon has stuff. All of Google's stuff is web-based, and it's easy to plug it all together. One of the most important things to keep in mind is that B2B websites are built on content management systems, also known as a CMS. A content management system is a piece of software that is used to store the content of the website, the web pages. The old days, people used to hand code HTML pages. Today, you use a content management system, which is an application with a back-end database, a web server. It does everything for you and makes it easy for you to update the content on the website. Pulling it all together, you need expertise in content management system implementation. You need expertise in social media, marketing automation, search, email, search engine marketing. All of these things are required to pull together B2B website today. And often companies have an entire team that is responsible for pulling it all together. So the 5 key components for an effective B2B website. First thing is an open source content management system. Second thing is obviously search engine marketing, which is Google Analytics and Yahoo search. There's also CRM integration, which is very, very important. You want to make sure that you capture leads that come from the website. You also want to consider using a marketing automation tool to make sure that you're interacting with these leads on a regular basis with email, and a lot of the marketing automation tools also have social components today. And then there's social media, which is using LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook to tie your website into social networks so that people can like various things on the website. You can tweet content and spread the content throughout the internet and increase which in turn will help improve your search engine page rankings. So let's go back to the content management system. Again, this is the foundation for the entire system. The most popular content management systems today, we have Drupal, we have WordPress, we also have Joomla. I'd recommend Drupal if you want a really robust content management system. If you have a small website, WordPress is fine. And then there's also Joomla, where a lot of people like that. Again, I would strongly recommend Drupal. But again, it depends on your budget and the skills of the team that will be building the website. One thing you need to take into consideration is you need to make sure that your website looks great. So you want to hire a good web designer. If your budget is really tight, you can obviously use templates from companies like TemplateMonster.com. It's very important to work with a designer or web developer that has experience in a content management system like Drupal, WordPress, or Joomla, because building a website in one of these systems is very different than the old school HTML websites. It's always important to design your website for usability. Usability means the ability for users to interact with the site in terms of finding what they need quickly, having a navigational structure that it's intuitive and people can get to what they are looking for fairly quickly. So you don't want to assume that you know how visitors will navigate your website. You can also use tools to validate your UI design. There's a lot of different tools ranging from Google Analytics, setting up funnels inside of there to look at click path analysis. There's a lot of different usability tools that are out there that can help you improve the usability of the website. And then there's one of the most important elements of a B2B website is optimizing the site for search. And to do that, you're going to need to develop a keyword strategy. You need to conduct competitive intelligence and looking at what your competitors are using for keywords. There are lots of competitive intelligence tools that are out there. Compete.com is one of them that you could check out. You want to verify search volume on specific keywords before you go out and optimize your site for specific keywords. And then once you come up with a list of your targeted keywords, you understand the search volume associated with those keywords, then you're going to want to look at going in and optimizing the content on the website for SEO. That means optimize your titles, your H1 tags, your H2 tags, putting keywords in there, structuring them the right way. And in addition, you're going to also want to make sure that you are leveraging Google Analytics to track the effectiveness of your keyword optimization. Another thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to consider using Google AdWords, which is you can go out and pay for specific keywords. If you're having a hard time showing up with organic search, you can go out and buy the keywords and advertise with a Google AdWords campaign. But before you do that, you really want to make sure you've clearly identified your keywords. You've developed a budget. You want to identify your top 100 keywords. You need to come up with ads that have a strong call to action. You need to have custom landing pages. You don't want to just send them to the main page of your website because that won't lead to generating leads or sales. It'll just have people wandering around your website. And often the home page serves multiple purposes, and just directing the home page is not going to be very effective. It's also very important that if you do go into the using AdWords, you're going to want to pay attention to your Google AdWords quality score. You can start out using AdWords the wrong way, and you could do a lot of damage to your quality score, which can make it hard for you to conduct campaigns in the future if you mess things up. So it's very important to make sure you have your Google AdWords strategy all buttoned up. So let's talk about landing pages for a second. Landing pages, again, are very important. You don't want to direct people to your home page. You want to come up with a page that is specifically oriented towards the keywords that you're advertising on Google AdWords for. Each one of these landing pages should have a strong call to action. The keyword should match your PPC ad. You should use testimonials or customer quotes to inspire confidence. You also want to consider removing navigational elements. Another thing we want to talk about is boosting your SEO with a blog on your website. If you don't have a blog, get one. You need to have one. Blog content is very, very valuable in terms of driving SEO. It's content is at the end of the day, content is king. You need to publish articles regularly to your website. You want to optimize it for SEO, optimize the titles, optimize the H1 tags. You want to put pictures in there with all tags. You want to cross-link keywords in your blog to your main website. This will help drive traffic to your website, search traffic. Okay, and then again, you want to make sure you connect your website to your CRM system. This leads from your website should always end up in your CRM system. You want to make sure you take steps to prevent duplicate records from showing up inside your CRM system. There are a lot of tools out there, third-party add-ons that work with products like Salesforce and Sugar CRM. You also want to consider using third-party tools to append and clean data. So if you get partial record information on a lead form, you can use a third-party source to match up email addresses or match up the names of companies to fill out the rest of the customer record inside of, or prospect record inside of your CRM system. Another thing you want to do is make sure you want to score all your leads, or develop some type of scoring system, in terms of the quality of the leads. You don't want to hand your salespeople leads that are not high quality, so you need to develop some type of scoring criteria. And let's talk about nurturing your leads with marketing automation. Again, scoring leads is a big deal in marketing automation, so people can build up scores based on behavioral characteristics and demographic characteristics of those leads. For example, certain white papers that are downloaded, their score would increase. Certain demographic characteristics, it's specific titles of people fill out forms, would all create a high score. And potentially those high scoring leads could be directed to sales much sooner than leads that score much lower. It's very important to have some type of email drip campaign that nurture leads that are and make them and bring them to the level where they're actually ready for interacting with sales. It's also very important to ask for permission, and you don't want to spam people with too many emails. You hit people with too many emails, and they're going to opt out of any program that you marketing automation program that you put in place. So it's a lead nurturing program. It's a series of targeted, relevant emails. It builds trust with prospects and customers. It establishes rapport. Messages align with the stages of your sales and marketing funnel to move someone along and make them more confident in interacting with your sales team. It also helps you keep your brand top of mind with prospects and customers. Another way you can interact with potential visitors to your website is to have an email newsletter to offer that to them. And people say, "Oh, I don't have time to put together a newsletter. It's a major project." Well, if you have a blog in place, you should be able to pull content from your blog and assemble that into snippets to make up some type of email newsletter. You want to make sure you embed clickable content and hyperlinks inside of your newsletter. You want to embed video. You also want to use it as a tool to drive traffic to your website. Email newsletters are a great way to stay in touch with prospects. Video. Let's talk about video for a second. YouTube is a great tool for generating inbound links and to boost your ranking on search engine results pages. Google gives preference to YouTube. They own YouTube. You definitely want to use keywords and the meta tags for your videos. You want to keep your videos very short and sweet. And you want to email video content with links. You want to use that as part of your email nurturing. People love to watch videos. Let's talk about social media for a second. Everyone's these days is talking about, oh, I've got to have a Twitter strategy. I have to have a Facebook strategy. Well, before you go out there and start putting a presence on Twitter, Facebook, you want to go out and monitor your brand on the social networks. You want to start searching around, see what people are saying. Look at Yelp, see if there are reviews of your company or product on Yelp. If you're a consumer or semi-consumer B2C, B2B product, you also want to measure brand sentiment. That's, people's mood or attitudes towards your product. Once you've determined, what the sentiment is, and looking at some of your competitors' social media strategies, then you're going to want to consider looking at using social media to promote content on your website. You can tweet blog posts. You can tweet press releases that you put out into the marketplace. So you're thinking to yourself, well, what is this all going to cost? God, it sounds complicated. I've got a lot of things to take into consideration. Well, it can be as low as $1,000 if you take a do-it-yourself approach, or it can be as much as $50,000 if you have an agency. This chart kind of walks through the different levels of programs and campaigns that you can put in place. If you want to do it yourself, start out with WordPress. If you have a more budget, you can work with some freelancers or consultants and put it all together. If you have a larger budget, obviously you'd want to work with an agency. Next thing we want to talk about is content management systems in terms of the feature comparison. This chart illustrates differences between Drupal and Joomla and WordPress. If you're looking for something that's very easy to use and very cheap, you go out with WordPress. They even have free solutions, but as a B2B site, you're going to really want to work with a hosting provider to host the product. Again, I recommend Drupal because it really is the most flexible, and most companies do need the entitlements component in the content management system, which is you can have users and roles and restrict access to content, and usually 9 times out of 10 most B2B sites need that level of entitlement control on the system. Conclusion, B2B website should not be a static brochure. A B2B website has to generate results. It's got to generate leads. It's got to either generate direct sales. There are a lot of moving parts in a successful B2B site. All the parts need to be tightly integrated, from the website to lead forms to marketing automation to the CRM system. I want to thank you for your time. I'm Derek Gilmore again, founder and CEO of DMZ Interactive. You can follow us on Twitter at DMZ Interactive, and also you can visit our website. We have lots of blog posts and information that you can find very useful in your B2B marketing efforts. Have a great day.